Longevity Lifestyle Designers. This is Zach here with secretsoflongevity.com. Today's the first day of my program that I'm starting. It's December 1st, and the bodybuilding program is going to be, I don't have a set amount of time I'm going to do it for, hopefully indefinitely. I'd like to, well, I'm always doing strength training, but specifically working at a gym and working out is something new to me. Whether or not I'm going to continue for the long haul, we'll see at the end of perhaps this year. So my goals for this whole process is to gain muscle mass, obviously, muscle bulk, and the program I'm following is going to be specifically tailored to maximize that outcome. So my personal goals for what I want to gain in the next, I'm basically setting two main goals, one at 6 months and where I want to be at 1 year. So at 6 months I am looking to have gained around 22 to 23 pounds of muscle. And right here you're going to see my current weight. So here we go on the scale. You just have to step on it once to turn it on. It's at 0. What's it going to stop at? 137.8. The camera I'm holding is about 0.5 pounds. So it's like 137 roughly. We round it down. And I usually hover around that 135 to 140, somewhere in there. So my 6-month goal is to be around 160 in terms of my weight. And so that would mean gaining around 22 to 23 pounds. I think that's very doable, especially for the program I'm on, and from some friends I know who have gone through this program and who have put on weight around that, at that rate over the time period of 1 year. And then for my 1 year goal, I'm looking to be 180. I'm going to put it at a low mark, so 175 minimum, 180 plus would be ideal. This could be, or it might seem like, a long stretch for some people who are familiar with what most people put on in the matter of 1 year's training. However, this is a unique program and I do have a unique approach, which you'll learn about over the coming weeks. I'm going to be updating these videos about my progress once a week, and you'll see me as I move along. So, the first thing I'm going to measure is my biceps. I'm going to do a measurement of several major parts of my body so we can see the before and after. I'm also going to take a before and after picture, but you're seeing that just in the video here. So my right bicep flexed right around the middle is 12 inches. And I measured myself about a year ago actually when I was doing more strength training, and it hasn't changed a bit. Actually, I think I was 11 and a half, so I did gain a little bit, but nothing significant. My left bicep flexed. If I can actually get this in the right spot. That's around 12 as well. And it's maybe a fraction of an inch shorter. And then if I can have the lovely Heidi Crocini come over to measure my chest. So just a little higher right there. And go right around here. I'll do it on my breath out.
Okay, so 34.
34?
Yeah.
34 inches. And now I'm going to do my thighs right in the middle. So here's my thighs. A little more hair than my chest. So flexed, 19 inches for the right. Middle, 19 inches for left as well. It's interesting because I remember a year ago I had the left side of my body was about half an inch to an inch shorter on both sides for biceps and thighs. So I guess through my training I've evened both sides of my body out a little more. I could do my waist and all that, but I'm not looking to actually lose body fat. So that would be something you do if you're trying to lose a gut. You'd want to be measuring your waist, but as you can see I'm not overweight. And then here are the before and after pictures as well that you can see of a few different poses that I'm going to do now, and then I'll do them again at probably 6 months and then 1 year. So actually my digital camera's battery's died, so I'm going to do this on video. So here's just the front pose. So I actually just got back from my first workout, and I realized the one thing I didn't measure with my neck. I wanted to get a neck measurement in there just to see if there's any increase there. Although I'm probably not going to be doing any neck exercises, just overall body growth, and especially traps, when they get larger, it's going to increase the neck circumference. And I'm going to measure it, I guess, right at the notch of the Adam's apple. It's the most easiest place to remember. And that is, let's see in a second here, 13 inches. And actually, I used to have a 12-inch neck, so I have gained 1 inch on my neck since about a year ago. That's kind of interesting. Hadn't even bothered to measure since then. I just assumed I hadn't put on any size, but put a little bit on my arms, a little bit on my chest, and a little bit on my neck. That's good. So my first workout went well, in the sense that it was the first one. I can't be too hard on myself. It was definitely sort of, people could tell I was sort of like the new guy in the gym. I had a few things that were little mishaps, but I cleared them up pretty quickly. It's just about, I'm also just getting familiar with what weight I can move in certain exercises, and although I could do a one-arm push-up, but an incline barbell bench press uses a completely different set of muscles, it seems, that I wasn't used to doing. So it was quite an interesting experience, to say the least. I kind of overestimated what I was able to lift, actually, by quite a lot. And so I felt perhaps my ego was a little bit hurt by that, but I quickly overcame that, and that's something I think that can be a big hurdle in the gym for some people, because I can really, having been in gyms before, not necessarily doing a lot of strength training, you sort of see that perception of people, especially in a gym where the emphasis is more on the aesthetic look of things. People can go into a weight room, for instance, and just want to do the heaviest weight possible, and you might get less reps, and it might be really bad form. Whereas if you have a really light weight, you could use that in a way that's more effective on the muscle if you have the right mindset and the right physical movements that are associated with that. And that's a big thing about this program I'm following, is that it emphasizes the mental side of things quite a lot. And there's a number of audios I'm listening to. Haven't got through them all yet, but they describe a number of things that go on. And I'm getting a lot from my 2 years in Bagua as well that I'm going to incorporate into this workout. And that is that people can actually gain muscle mass through thought alone. So there was a study done somewhere in the southwestern U.S., I think either Arizona or California or somewhere around there. And the guy who was doing the study was looking at people, I guess he was looking at 2 groups of people. One of them doing bicep curls and seeing over a matter of months how much muscle mass they can grow. And then he had people sitting in a chair as well, doing no exercise at all, and being completely relaxed, and they had to actually follow relaxation techniques going into the experimental session. And they had electrodes attached to their arms and muscles to make sure they're not actually physically doing any work, but mentally they were imagining that they were lifting an extremely heavy weight and really struggling to get that up, and then doing the same amount of curls and intensity as the people who were actually doing the physical movement. And while the people moving the actual weight did gain more muscle mass, that's just sort of intuitively we know that, the people that were doing no exercise at all but were doing it mentally actually gained a 12% increase in muscle mass over, I can't remember the exact number of months, but this was maybe 4 or 5 months. So it's quite significant in the sense that we often think of physical exercise and meditation and relaxation and these things, whereas there is really a lot of blending between the two. So specifically in Bagua, we would train things like imagining that we were lifting a heavy weight, which in a sense of a actual physical altercation could be, you're pushing someone out of the way on an angle this way, or you're pushing someone up like this. And if you do that movement in a solo practice session, you're actually feeling that resistance mentally, but you're staying relaxed, you're actually triggering the nervous system to sort of upgrade the amount of strength that it can output. And this is the whole idea behind the legend of the granny that lifts the concrete pipe off of the child in the playground or whatever, at a construction site that there was a kid playing around. I mean, that's probably not the exact story, and probably people talk about different stories using that one sort of idea. But in times of need, our muscles have the ability to sort of step up in the amount of strength that we can output. So one of the keys to that is staying relaxed, but obviously if you're doing an actual lifting a weight or bench press or whatever exercise it is, you're actually moving a weight. But if your mind's in the muscle and your focus is like a laser, and also have that drive and willpower to actually push yourself beyond what you think is capable, you can expect better results than someone that just goes into the gym and is throwing weights around, not completely present in their exercise session. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming week and seeing how my body responds to this increased amount of exercise. My exercise load over the past maybe 3 months has declined quite a bit. Sort of around September, it started to go downhill after I moved to this place, and just slowly went downhill, and then I reached a point where I decided I wanted to join a gym, and it just kept descending just because in my mind I was thinking, oh, I'm going to start this new program, and I was just getting more and more bored with the exercises I was doing. So obviously change is a good thing. And speaking of change and keeping things fresh, the program I'm going to be following has 6 sort of groups of foundational training, and each group has 12 weeks, and it's a 12-week schedule of exercises that are completely given out for me to follow, which I think is a big load off my mind and having to figure out what I have to do every time I go into the gym. But yeah, it keeps things fresh, it keeps the body on its toes, you could say. Your nervous system's not going to adapt to the same exercise too quickly, and so the benefits of that is going to be that I have this more than 1 year of training in this foundational phase where I'm just upgrading the nervous system and muscles to be able to handle greater and greater loads. And then there's sort of more advanced stuff that, you know, if I stick with this long enough, I'll eventually get to. So thankfully on Friday I have my first day off. So it's just going to be 2 days, a day off, then 3 days, and a day off, and it cycles for that for quite a while. But I'm going to be definitely probably going to need that. I'm really upping my food intake. It's kind of nice, actually. I really enjoy food, so bodybuilding is a sport to get involved in if you like food. And one more thing I want to say is that I have a page that I'm going to be posting these videos on. So if in the future you see a video of this and you haven't seen the past ones, or in between, you can go there, and I'm going to be posting them below every video that I post once a week on bodybuilding and my progress. And that link will be below, and it's going to be on my website. It'll just be like sort of a little blog of following my progress through this whole process. So with that, I'm going to say take care and embrace life without limits.